I'm Paolo Mattia. I'm a graduate student at the Ford School of Public Policy and Information School. I'll pass it over to Yuan.
Yeah, hey, I'm Ewan, and I'm a first-year master student in School of Information. And I'll pass it to Pratik.
I am Pratik. I'm a first-year master's student at the School of Information.
All right, so I'll go ahead and start the presentation. I'm going to go off camera real quick just because I have a dual monitor screen. So hi, everyone. Thank you so much for attending our presentation. I'll be presenting our app called Beyond Barcode. And to start it off with a question, when was the last time that you searched for a product, wondering if it was even safe for you to use? Odds are you had to Google that product and parse through a bunch of articles just to find out if that product was actually safe for you. For example, Roundup, a common household product, a weed killer, has been linked to cancer in humans and can be harmful in the environment, most notably to bee populations, for example. Many large retailers from grocery to garden retail stores such as Home Depot and Lowe's continue to sell Roundup despite its toxicity, putting the burden on the consumer to decide what exactly they should buy. So right now there's a clear need for consumers to be informed, as Roundup isn't only the toxic product on the shelf. So our team explored the question, how might we inform household shoppers like you about the toxicity of everyday products, household garden products, and empower them to make a difference? Our solution is Beyond Barcode. Going through a quick competitive analysis, we looked at 3 potential competitors. The Target app is a partial competitor. The store Target app provides a rewarding shopping experience by streamlining access online and in-store shopping. We chose this competitor because products listed on this app are widely used by consumers, but they don't go deeply into the detail about the potential risks of the products, but the features of the scanning are there on the barcode. And then Change.org is a parallel competitor. Change.org is a platform through which people can start petitions, campaigns to mobilize support and work with decision makers in their local area or national to drive solutions. So we chose this competitor because of the aims of Beyond Barcode to empower consumers. And then the last competitor that we want to consider was Think30. They are an analogous competitor. Their app is committed to helping consumers identify potential risks associated with products they use every day, mostly in the cosmetics industry. So we chose this analogous competitor because of the similar function that they're going to have, telling us the potential risks, and the similar interaction ways is very close to what we have, the scanning feature. But their focus is more in a different domain, the cosmetics sector. So these 3 competitors we chose reflect different aspects that we combine into one application. Think Barcode is, through Beyond Barcode, we inform everyday consumers about toxic products in the retail market. Beyond Barcode is a mobile application that provides a toxicity score real-time via a quick barcode scan when household shopping. We return concise, easy to understand information back to the user. And through this app, we take the next step by harnessing the ability to influence friends and family and express gratitude through the creation and signing of online petitions. And as a campaigner in the environmental sector, I know that these petitions can be an important first step into activism, following that certain products be completely reformulated or removed from shelves entirely. Here are some of the activists who have joined the Reject Roundup campaign that I lead, and Home Depot and Lowe's can make a significant difference in other garden retail and stores in reducing the use of toxic products in their shelves, not just Roundup. Research shows actually that homeowners use up to 10 times more chemical pesticides per acre on their lawns than farmers use on their crops. So them making a difference is very significant in the overall pesticide use in the economy and the market. And so in the discover and define phases of the product, we learned from user interviews that consumers are concerned about their health as it relates to the use of many household products for a variety of reasons, especially those consumers with young children in their household. Another important insight is that consumers use their phones while shopping for tasks like price comparisons or product research in person or online. And to summarize our rating assessments of the products, our ratings are determined based on publicly available data, released by nonprofits and government agencies in North America regarding the health and safety of active ingredients in products like pesticides. Here is what the data may look like, a very raw data. And this was a toxicity analysis of all the herbicide products sold at Home Depot and Lowe's. We do have the data and to be able to analyze that on what's on the shelf. So Beyond Pesticides is an environmental research organization that has a complete database of pesticide toxicities, active ingredients and inert ingredients. That's perfect for pulling this kind of information. For the rating, we assess the overall risk of a given product based on the potential health and environmental impacts of its published active ingredients. So each ingredient listed on the product label or the manufacturer's website is evaluated for documented evidence on carcinogenicity, developmental and reproductive toxicity, allergenicity, and immunotoxicity, and also environmental harm to beneficial organisms. So again, to summarize, our intention is to inform and empower users so that they can create a change. We inform users via the barcode scan or search features and empower them via the petition feature. You can simply scan a product and within a few clicks, the user can sign an existing petition and create a new petition to take part in removing toxic products from our store shelves. So finally, as we moved into our business model for Beyond Barcode, there was really an important decision to be made. Should we turn this app and monetize it in a way where users have access to certain information about products and turn to retailers, for example, or we can turn to retailers, for example, and implement a scan and search feature into their store, similar to the way that Target did. So currently there's a gap in the market that Target really is only beginning to fill with its ability, the Target app, to classify products into categories, whether they're like cruelty-free, vegan, what's the price, and stuff like that. So previously, based on my experience, I worked with identifying toxic pesticides in Home Depot and Lowe's shelves. And based on those two retailers, Home Depot and Lowe's more specifically, and their action to use the information that we provided, a nonprofit that I work for, about their product offerings and toxicity based on that, we believe that our app can actually further strengthen their chemical policy by helping them further manage their chemicals more responsibly. We can use Beyond Barcode and the features that it contains to give Lowe's a cutting edge in online and in-store shopping experience over their competitor, Home Depot, by providing transparent and clear information to shoppers about the products and all of it that they offer. So Beyond Barcode essentially will position Lowe's as a responsible corporate citizen in the garden and retail sector geared towards collaboration and improvement. And that will end the presentation. I will pass it down to questions. Thank you.
Great, thank you. We can do like some little virtual claps. Great job, you guys. We'll turn it over. Maybe you could stop sharing your screen for a minute so we can see everyone. And then the judges can go ahead and jump in. I don't know who wants to start, but please unmute and go for it.
Go ahead and get started. Great presentation, great, very interesting idea. And I really like how you pair the informational plus action. And I think it's great. I just have a question around how you are able to define the problem. Do you want to talk about the process, the interviews that you conducted to understand why people think this is necessary, or really how you're going to use that information to then improve and target your app?
Yes, I'll pass it on to Pratik to go through the interview process that we did.
Hi everyone. So the design process that we followed for this application was a double diamond process. In the beginning, we weren't sure about the problem space. So we conducted a few interviews, and after analyzing the data of those interviews, were we able to converge the problem statement to find something that users care about. And we realized that users did not really have much information. They did not really feel empowered, and they did not have much information about products when they went to stores. So that is how we converged our problem statement to what it is for Beyond Barcode.
So hi everybody, this is an awesome presentation. As a consumer who has spent a lot of time looking at like websites that are like this. This is something I've invested, especially during the pandemic. I did a ton of research on detergents and cosmetics. So one of the things I noticed is that your research is really about publicly available data. And based on my experiences is sometimes that's not enough. Do you see a longer term plan of having to do, well, one I would say is it would be presented on some of the websites I reviewed as inconclusive of like, this might cause cancer, right? Which is just really confusing to anybody who's not an oncologist. And then the information sometimes was in scientific speak, or there's nothing available. So how do you see it in the longer term plan of bridging that gap of publicly available data?
Yeah, and that's going to be always an issue in any kind of product like this, where you're trying to do a rating, that the science might not always be there, that there's going to be some kind of line that's going to have to be drawn. And the key to that really in communicating that information is that the users, while they'll see the quick condensed rating, based on the environment rating, based on the human health rating, they can see both of it. And they can further see kind of the active ingredients and kind of a list, and click on it and go to our website for more of the thorough kind of breakdown. I showed you that that Excel sheet that shows you kind of, the colors and everything. You can further go into that and see what are the articles that are contributing to kind of, that rating, whether it's really, inconclusive. That's up to you, to decide. How we draw the line is, based on kind of the data that's available publicly, non-governmental agencies. And that's the limit to, what we can do as scientists. But we try to provide that information to be, as transparent as possible. And later down the road, we try to create a more robust database in the future.
Thank you.
I would actually like to add on to that. So through our research and interviews, we realized that many of our users, they mentioned that there's a lot of information available online, but as you mentioned, it's not really conclusive and they don't necessarily trust the information out there. So for that reason, we had the concept of influencers in our application. And influencers, they influence other people. They're people like us who've used the application before, and we realized that having a word of mouth and reviews by people who are our personal connections made a deeper impact on the product and on the ratings of the product that Beyond Barcode provides.